Part 1 Extended. I dropped by just to say hello, but she said, "Why don't you stay a little longer?" The clock on her wall ticked softly, the sound oddly intimate in the quiet that followed her laughter. I noticed small things then, the way her lamp cast a warm glow that softened the edges of the room, the faint scratch on the coffee table she absent-mindedly traced with her finger, the slow, steady rise and fall of her breathing against my shoulder. "This feels familiar," I said, breaking the silence. She tilted her head slightly, cheek pressing more firmly into me. "Good familiar or dangerous familiar?" I huffed a quiet laugh. "Both." She smiled without lifting her head. "That tracks." We sat like that for a while, not talking, not rushing. Her fingers toyed with the seam of my sleeve, not consciously, like her body had made a decision before her mind caught up. Each small movement sent a ripple through me, nothing explosive, just a steady awareness that I was exactly where I shouldn't be if I wanted to keep pretending I didn't care. "I used to imagine moments like this," she said suddenly. "Moments where someone drops by unannounced." I teased gently. "No," she said, lifting her head now to look at me. "Moments where someone stays." The word lingered. I looked away first, jaw tightening. "I'm not great at staying." "I know." She didn't sound bitter. Just honest. "You always leave before things get complicated. Or before I mess them up." She studied my face, like she was piecing together something fragile. "Did anyone ever tell you that leaving can mess things up too?" I met her gaze then. There was no accusation there, only concern, maybe even hope. That made it worse. Hope always did. "I don't want to hurt you," I said quietly. Her voice softened. "You're already here." That landed heavier than she probably intended. I shifted slightly, turning toward her fully now. Our knees brushed again, closer this time. The space between us felt charged, like it was holding its breath. "You ever notice," she said, "how people think distance keeps them safe? But all it really does is make everything colder." I nodded slowly. "I've lived there." She smiled sadly. "Yeah, I figured." She stood then, breaking the moment just enough to let the tension breathe. "More tea?" she asked. "Sure," I said, though what I really wanted was for her to sit back down. From the couch, I watched her move around the kitchen, comfortable, unguarded. She leaned against the counter while waiting for the kettle, glancing over at me like she was checking whether I was still there. "I won't disappear in the next 2 minutes," I said. She rolled her eyes but smiled. "Good. Because I hate pretending I don't care when someone leaves." She handed me the mug, her fingers brushing mine for a fraction of a second too long. Electricity sparked, subtle, but undeniable. We sat again, closer than before. This time, our shoulders touched without apology. "Why tonight?" she asked softly. I stared into my tea, watching the steam curl upward. "I don't know. I think I got tired of missing things." "Like what?" "Like this," I admitted. "Quiet moments. Real ones. Not everything has to be loud to matter." She exhaled, a sound that felt like relief. "I wish you'd said that earlier." "I know." She leaned back, studying the ceiling. "I used to wait for you," she said, casual but careful. "Every time my phone buzzed, I hoped it was you changing your mind." Guilt tightened my chest. "I didn't know." She glanced at me. "You did. Just didn't want to." "Fair." I set my mug down. "I'm trying now." Her eyes searched mine, cautious. "Trying how?" "By not running. By sitting here, even though it scares me." She smiled, softer this time. "Good start." The rain began then, light at first, tapping against the windows. The city outside blurred, the world shrinking to this room, this couch, this moment suspended between what was and what could be. "I like the rain," she said. "Makes it feel like the rest of the world is on mute." "Yeah," I agreed. "Like we get a pause." She turned toward me again, closer than before. Her knee rested against mine now, deliberate. "You don't have to leave just because it's late." I hesitated. "I should. But you don't want to." I didn't answer, which was answer enough. She reached out, fingers resting lightly on my wrist. The touch was gentle, almost tentative, like she was giving me space to pull away if I wanted. I didn't. Instead, I turned my hand, letting my fingers lace with hers. Her breath hitched, not dramatically, just enough to tell me it mattered. "There," she whispered. "That wasn't so hard." I smiled. "You're dangerous." She grinned. "You already knew that." We sat like that, hands intertwined, the rain growing steadier outside. There was no rush, no desperate need to define anything. Just two people choosing not to look away. Promise me something, she said quietly. What? Don't make tonight mean nothing tomorrow. I squeezed her hand gently. I won't. She leaned in, forehead resting against mine. Close enough that I could feel her breath, smell the faint trace of tea and something unmistakably her. Good, she said. Because I'm tired of almosts. So was I. And as the rain washed the city clean outside, I realized that staying, really staying, might be the bravest thing I'd done in a long time. Part 2, the morning after, staying a little longer. I woke to the sound of rain still lingering, softer now, like it had exhausted itself sometime before dawn. For a moment, I didn't move. I just listened, to the quiet hum of the city, to the faint tick of that same clock, to her breathing beside me. Slow, even, real. That's when it hit me. I was still there. Not on the couch this time, but in her bedroom, light slipping through half-drawn curtains, painting the walls in pale gold. I lay on my back, one arm bent behind my head, the other resting where it had apparently decided to stay, around her. She was curled against me, hair a soft mess, face relaxed in sleep. No defenses. No carefully chosen words. Just her. Last night rushed back in fragments, talking until our voices dropped, laughter mixing with honesty, the way time had dissolved without either of us noticing. How staying a little longer had turned into staying at all. I swallowed, suddenly aware of the weight of the moment pressing down on my chest. Careful, I thought. This is where you usually run. She stirred, shifting slightly, her hand brushing my chest. Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused at first, then finding me. Oh, she murmured, voice thick with sleep. You're still here. There it was. That quiet question hiding inside the statement. Yeah, I said softly. I am. A small smile curved her lips, relieved, unguarded. Good. She didn't move away. That mattered more than anything. We lay there for a while, neither of us rushing to fill the silence. Morning felt fragile, like a glass thing that could shatter if handled wrong. Eventually, she propped herself up on one elbow, studying me. You okay? I nodded. Yeah, just thinking. Dangerous hobby, she teased gently. For me, definitely. She smiled, then sobered. Are you regretting it? The question was calm, but her eyes were careful. Braced. I sat up slightly so I could see her better. No, I'm just not used to waking up somewhere and not wanting to escape. That earned a quiet laugh. Low bar. Hey, I said, smiling despite myself. It's progress. She reached out, tracing a line on my arm absent-mindedly. I didn't expect you to stay, she admitted. Not really. No. Why did you? The easy answer would have been because it felt right. The honest one took longer. Because I'm tired of being the guy who leaves before anything can start, I said. And because, last night felt like something I don't want to pretend didn't happen. Her fingers stilled. It didn't. Good. We got up slowly, like neither of us wanted to move too fast and scare the moment away. She pulled on an oversized shirt. I found my jacket draped over a chair like a reminder that I'd once planned to leave. The kitchen filled with the smell of coffee, morning light spilling across the counter. She leaned against it while waiting for the kettle, arms crossed loosely. So, she said, casual but not careless. What happens now? I took a breath. This was the part one usually fumbled. I don't want this to be a one-night almost, I said. And I don't want to promise things I'm not ready to give. But I do want to try. Honestly. She nodded slowly. That's all I ever wanted. Honesty. I might be bad at it sometimes. She smiled. I've noticed. We sat at the small table, mugs warming our hands. The city outside was waking up, cars passing, voices drifting up from the street. Life continuing, unaware that something had shifted. You know, she said, I was prepared to wake up alone. I almost left before sunrise, I admitted. Her eyebrows lifted. You did. Yeah, old habit. What stopped you? I looked at her. Really looked. The idea of you waking up and thinking it didn't mean anything. Her expression softened, something unspoken passing between us. Thank you, she said quietly. After breakfast, reality crept in the way it always does. Phones buzzed. Responsibilities called. The world didn't care that we'd found something tender in the quiet. I stood by the door, slipping on my shoes, that familiar instinct tugging at me again. Leave before it gets heavy. Leave while it's still simple. She watched me, arms folded, not defensive, just waiting. I'm not disappearing, I said, sensing it. She smiled, but there was caution there now. I know. Just, don't make me guess. I won't, I promised. And this time, I meant it. At the door, I hesitated, then leaned in and pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. Not dramatic. Not rushed. Just real. Text me, she said. I will. Outside, the rain had finally stopped. The streets gleamed, washed clean, like the city had been given a second chance. As I walked to my car, something unfamiliar settled in my chest, not fear, not urgency. Hope. The kind that doesn't demand anything. The kind that waits. And for once, I didn't feel like running from it.